Hello and welcome back to another action figure review, and this is one that I've been looking forward to doing for almost a whole year. You see, the figure we're going to be reviewing today, I actually got at the end of 2024. I opened him in the beginning of 2025, but have not gotten around to review him until now. And this figure has packed such a wow factor for me that I really look forward to reviewing him. But first, opening the show for us is Garona Half Orson from the World of Warcraft movie. This is a figure done by Mattel. She's not really that good, but honestly, of all the Warcraft movie figures, she was probably one of the better ones, which is really not saying a lot. But hey, that was, I think, 2016 by Mattel. So yeah, you get the drift. So why do we have Corona Half Orson opening the show today? Because the character we are going to be reviewing today, the figure we're going to be reviewing today, is a character that have a definite grudge against her. Not just her, he hates the entire orc race because, well, they demolished his kingdom. They killed his dad. So, the whole "you killed my father" thing. Yeah. Before we get into it, though, I want to tell you guys that this will be the last review for about 2 weeks because this week I'm going to go on a little vacation, uh, just to celebrate Valentine's Day and Chinese New Year, and then I will be back in about 2 weeks' time. So not a long break, but if you guys don't see any content for 2 weeks, don't be alarmed. I am still here. I'm just taking a short break. So, since I've been looking forward to do this review so much, let's not dilly dallying about, and we'll look at the packaging, photos, and the biography of the character, and then we'll be right back.
Varian Wrynn, also called Logosh the Ghost Wolf, was the son of the late King Llane Wrynn and father of Anduin Wrynn, High King/Supreme Commander of the Grand Alliance and former King of Stormwind. Known for his tenacity and fierce will, King Varian Wrynn was committed to protecting the Alliance's interests and raising his son Anduin to follow in his place. With the world plunged into chaos by the Great Cataclysm, he earned the respect of the Night Elves, dwarves, and other Alliance races and took up military leadership of the Alliance as High King, vowing to forge a new destiny for Azeroth. In combat, Varian is renowned for his brutal strength, speed, and lightning reflexes. Garona Halforson has compared fighting him to that of fighting two men at once. With the blessing of Goldrin's spirit, he has even been shown to never tire in combat and have his senses heightened. A weapons master and former gladiator, his brutal fighting style is further enhanced by his legendary blade, Charlemagne. Those who have seen him in combat describe his fighting style like that of a wolf. Varian can quickly take notice of an enemy's vulnerability and take advantage of it. He has also been shown to lure his foes into a sense of complacency and see them undone by the trap or ambush he has set up.
And here he is, the Storm King, made by BroToys. I think there was another company involved, like GD Toys or something, but I just think of him as BroToys. He is clearly a knockoff of the Varian Wrynn character from World of Warcraft, as introduced in our biography and opening slideshow there. This is such a premium feeling figure. He is big. Make no mistake about it, and we will talk about that in a little bit. But he stands about 7.6, inches tall, depending on how you pose him, and he is pretty broad and chunky all the way around. Um, the fur under his armor, on his arm and uh, greaves, and the fur feel very very premium. I love the hair, the head sculpt on this guy, just really really nice. And he has magnet that attach. See how this just like click into place. This the sword sheath or holder, and there's a little pouch here. Let's see, pouch here on his waist. Yeah, that's also attached by magnet. Very premium feeling, with the fur and the pants, the soft good. There is kind of a generic body under all that armor, but I'm not quite sure uh, if that's something that they used before. I will say this: when you actually feel the legs, the the body underneath all this armor feel very scrawny. Like he looks really big, but most of this is the armor pieces. Like what's actually under there feel like a very scrawny body. Like uh, I I kind of imagine if you can take all the armor off of him, you end up with some like a can doll for Barbie, something like that. Man. Uh, I don't think most of these armor is removable though. At least I'm not going to try. Um, the shoulder armor, I love the design of the shoulder armor. We got a griffin on the right shoulder, and then we got a lion on the left shoulder. Again, you can see there's a very high quality fur on his hood and collar piece. The hood is functional. You can put his hood up like that. Now it doesn't always sit very good. You kind of have to mess with it a little bit because I don't know if there's a wire in the hood. It feel like there might be, but if there is, it's not holding its shape very good. So usually, even though I love the hood, I will just pose him with the hood down like this, because that hood is just so hard to set into the right shape. There's definitely uh, a wire all around the outside of his cape, so you can see that the cape definitely hold whatever shape you want to put it in. You want to be blowing in the wind or have it down flat. Yeah, it's very nice. The material is also very nice on the cape. The ponytail in the back of the head is articulated, but be very careful with the ponytail. It doesn't stay in very well. So sometimes it happened to me multiple times already. When moving the figure, suddenly you're like, ah, crap, where did the ponytail go? And it's somewhere in the carpet. So yeah, be mindful, keeping track of the ponytail. It does fall off at when you least expect it to. The sword, very very detailed, and he has flaming effect, a clip to the sword. This now before you guys say this, I know that how I'm posing him here is not the right way because usually if he has this two swords in his hand, then this one wouldn't be in the back because this is what it looks like when he combined the two swords. I know that, but I need somewhere to store stuff. I don't want to put it just in, I don't want to put it away in a accessory bin because the way I am, if I put that sword away, I'll never remember to find it, and I'll just forget about it, and it would be a shame too because it's such a nice sword. So I'll just pose him with three swords. Hey, my toy, whatever. Um, there's also very nice details on the front of his knee pad. There's a what is that? Kind of like more lion, or is that yeah some kind of animal head design. The card piece, the flaps around his lower body, those are soft rubber, so they do not hinder his leg movement. In fact, his legs are just about the best thing that can move. Articulation is not this boy's strong suit. I kind of feel that this is a problem when they take a generic articulated body and stick really heavy armor on top of it. Because I feel that if they design this figure from the ground up rather than just build it around a generic body underneath, then they can tailor the articulation to work with the joints in the armor, rather than having the armor just getting in the way everywhere. He also comes with this little piece of diorama piece here that look like wave or lava crashing against a pile of rock. Now, there's not much you can do with that. You can just stand on it, um, or beside it. He can even stand on it. So that's a bit of a bummer. I feel that if you want to go to the trouble of giving us a dial piece, then at least make it so the figure can attach to it. This is not a cheap figure either. This guy cost anywhere between $100 US to $150 US, depending on where you buy him from. Even though he is pretty expensive, I will say, visually and tactilely, he is quite an impressive figure. Very sizable, very well made, with all kind of different materials and details packed all over him. It's very, very, very premium feeling. I think I said that multiple times, but that is the best way I can describe this figure. Now let's look at some accessories and posing photos, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about our Storm King. So obviously, the lack of articulation or the lack of functioning articulation is one of the biggest drawback for a figure that is over $100. And the accessory count, while does have good accessories, I feel that they're just a little bit stingy on the accessory. I feel that uh, maybe more head options would be nice. Um, and proper sheath for the sword would be nice rather than just a little sword holder like this. Um, One note is I remember Varian Wrynn uh, carry his sword on his hips. It's his son that carried the sword on his back. So I don't know if I misremember that uh, or they messed up on this one, but I seem to remember that Varian Wrynn always carry his sword on his hip. Now we keep mentioning Varian Wrynn, which is basically who this is supposed to be. But let's look at the obvious elephant in the room, which is this guy is the size of an elephant. Well, okay, not really. Varian in World of Warcraft is supposed to be a big guy. That's true. Okay? But he's not supposed to be like Sagat territory. He's supposed to be like 6'2", anywhere between 6'2" to 6'6", depending on your sources, depending on where you get the information from. But he's never shown to be over 6'6", which means, technically speaking, he should be roughly the same size as Thor or Hercules or those guys, or a little bit taller than Conan the Barbarian, because I think Conan is only supposed to be 6 feet tall. This guy, however, if you want to go by the 1/12 scale, then he's huge. Okay, like I said, he's 7.6 inches tall, which means if he in true 1/12 scale, he is a 7'6" guy. Now, if we use him in the fake 1/12 scale, like Mythic Legion and Savage Crucible, where most of the figures are closer to 7 inches rather than 6 inches, uh, then it's not too bad. He's still huge, but uh, it's at least more believable, and, but still too big for someone like Varian. Uh, Now, if Varian was 6'9", then I would say, yeah, this figure is perfect. But for someone who's anywhere between 6'2" to 6'6", this is uh, way too big. Let me bring Garona quickly back. I'm going to show you guys some size comparison in a little bit, but because I forgot to use Garona in the size comparison, and they definitely have to go together because she is like his sworn enemy. Just look at that. Look at how small Garona is. Now, of course, this is a movie version, and the movie version is always kind of wimpy uh, feeling. Like most of the figures from the movie line uh, were very small, barely 6 inches tall. Uh, but yeah, this gives you guys an idea. Like she's Garona here is like a child next to our Storm King. It's kind of funny how massive this guy is. Again, not in the way that it's unbelievable. He's too big to be Varian Wrynn, but he's definitely not too big to be a warrior that will mix in with your uh, Mythic Legion and Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, you you know we have someone like Grimsword who is over 8 inches tall, and War Duke is really big, and Strong Hearts is really big. So again, if you stand him next to those guys, he's not too out of the question. Now, as far as articulation goes, there's you can't even get his arm to 90 degrees. It's basically yeah, that's like 45 degrees is all you're going to get, and he can't cross his arm or get into any kind of two-handed pose because he doesn't have any butterfly joints. Uh, the torso does have pretty good range, however, and like I said, the leg has pretty decent range. Although because there's no toe joint and barely any rocker in the ankle, so you got to be careful posing him. Luckily, he is easy to stand. He's a big, chunky, armored figure that has very solid center of gravity. So standing him up is not too difficult. And these weapons, the swords, even though they look pretty sizable, they are actually really, really light. Um, they do feel a little bit on the brittle side, so be careful with them. I don't feel that they'll survive or fall off the shelf. They feel kind of hard and brittle, like they would snap easily. So be careful with them. Another way to show you guys how big this guy is we'll bring in this horse I have in the background. This is one of the fish toy D20 toy uh, horses, and they are pretty big. They are uh, about the same size, if not bigger, than Mythic Legion horses. And you can see standing together, the Storm King kind of makes the horse seem normal sized. Uh, yeah, yeah. This is definitely a big guy. Um, he'll work. He'll work. He'll look really commanding and really badass on your shelf, but you have to be okay with the fact that he is going to be one of the largest, not the largest, but he's going to be one of the largest human character on your shelf. For now, this is about as much as I can say. Like there's not a lot of posing options for this guy. There's not a lot of different accessories to show you. I can just keep telling you guys this is a gorgeous figure and very premium feeling, and he feels really heavy too. Um, the material used for the soft goods are really, really good, very fine. The fur feel very realistic, and overall, even though he doesn't articulate that well, I mean, I collected Mythic Legion for years, and so if I was okay for their lack of articulation, then I can't judge this guy too badly. Now let's look at our closing statement and some posing photos. And yeah, thank you for checking out today's review. This is one of those figures that I feel really torn about. On a subjective level, he is really quite expensive, over $100. You don't get a hell of a lot of accessory with him. Articulation kind of sucks, and he is too big to be a proper Varian Wrynn character. Um, so I can't, in good conscience, recommend him. But with that said, on a personal level, he is one of the best figures I have opened, at least one of the ones that give me that wow, factor as soon as I get him in my hand. It almost feels like you are holding a premium statue in your hand that just happened to be articulated. And he looks so good, commanding your army and fighting against Mythic Legion, Savage Crucible, Conan the Barbarian, He-Man, or whatever. Like he's a little bit big, but not in an unbelievable realm. He's a big dude, and if you're okay with that, if you're okay with him not being the proper size for the Varian Wrynn character, then I say it's a great figure. Thank you for checking out today's review. I'll be back again after my vacation. For now, Happy Chinese New Year!